When I upgraded my welder for home use, I needed a cart to hold everything, and everything that I found online and at the store really didn't fit my needs. So I went ahead and built a custom one specifically for this opening in the bench between this cabinet here and this one, and of course the top, and it just rolls in there. The area that I was working with was 21 inches deep, 32 inches wide, and 35 inches tall. So took that as my max exterior dimensions, figured out all the crap that I have that I use for welding, with the exception of the welding helmet and the welding jacket. I store those in a different location. I tried to come up with a way to get everything stored in one rollaway type container that I could put under the bench and have it, free up the garage floor when it wasn't in use. I weld from time to time. I don't weld enough to have it sitting out all the time, so that's the reason I designed this. So let me go ahead and roll it out and go over real quickly all the crap that I got stored in this. Here's the cart rolled out. Let me do a quick walk around. It's a 3-piece top. Got the 2 bottles and the extension cords in the back. And then the welder sits off to the side. So I had to actually make a list of everything that I have in this because it's got so much crap, even surprised myself. So externally, that means in this lower area down in here, and on the side, on this side, and in the back, I've got the Miller Multimatic 200 welder. It does the Mig, TIG, and stick. I'll probably never use it for stick. Works off a 120 or 240. Only weighs about 200. Only weighs about 27 pounds. So I needed something to use from time to time that I'd say it's a portable professional unit. It costs enough to fall into that category. On the back side, I got a pair of welding gas cylinders, one for the C gas and one for the argon. I got 2 storage cases right here. I got one of the cases is holding the Miller aluminum spool gun kit, and the other case is holding all the TIG cables, cords, pedals, and actually 2 4x6 foot welding blankets. I've also got on the back here, I wrapped this up this morning. It's kind of cold, so it's stiff, but it's a 25-foot Pro Grip 240 volt 40 amp welding extension cord. I've also got on the exterior a magnetic Mig gun holder and a magnetic TIG gun holder. That's this unit here, and then you can see on the other side the blue one. And what I've done is in the top lid, I've actually routed in a heavy washer. So all you do is you pull off your gun holder, flap it on the washer, and then you're good to go. And then when you need the gun holder out of the way, it just goes back on the underside there. I've also got a 7-inch 90-degree corner welding vise, which is this thing right here. It's got a couple pins that I put some dowels, steel dowels, that it just kind of sits on. When the cord's out of the way, then you just have to remove this and it slides off the pin. It comes out pretty easy. I've also got 11 welding magnets. I'll show that in a second. 2 large, 4 medium, 2 small, and 2 minis. And then I got 1 adjustable dual angle one. I got 3 of the magnetic copper backing plates, where if you're trying to weld a hole and need to fill the hole, it gives you something to weld up against. I got approximately 5 pounds of TIG welding rod. I've got the 1/16 and 3/32 steel, and then I got a 1/16 stainless and the 3/32 aluminum. Already talked about the big washer. In the top storage compartment, so before I hit that, I'll show everything on the exterior again real fast. So got the welder here, got the spool gun here, got all the TIG stuff and the welding blankets here. This is where the welding rod, it's all cut in half. case is cut in half, the aluminum, the stainless, and the steel. On the side here, here's one of the copper welding stop backers, the double angle magnetic, the mini ones, the small, the medium, and then I've got a large ones back here, and then I also have one of the magnetic grounding and then another stopper right there. On this side, got another one of these magnets shoved in here. Talked about the vise. Got the TIG and Mig gun holder, power cord for the welder, the extension cord. Here's that other magnet. And then the 2 bottles. I use a turnbuckle with just some cable, some small cable to kind of hold them in. The top, what you do is lift the top up. Oops, sorry about that sound. And these just slide right out, slide right in. So in the top storage compartment, let me go ahead and pause the video and open it up. I only have one hand free right now. This is with the top of the welding cart opened up. It's a 3-piece top, double hinged. It kind of sits on itself when it's up, so you got full access to everything. The back one lifts up by itself. The front 2 with this design, you have to kind of lift the back one up over on top of the front, or just at least lift it up to raise the front area. That's the only drawback to the design. So in the top, in this area right there, I've got the Miller Mig Gun and Cables and its cords, and I got 2 grounding cables in there with 5 different clamp options. Got 4 of the spring type, and then 2 of the magnetic, so there's actually about 6 different. I got 5 pairs of welding gloves. Some of them are just like work that I use when I'm going to grind. Others are physically for welding. I broke them down lightweight if I'm just going to do something quick, or heavier if I'm going to be welding a little bit longer. I got a couple pair in there that I haven't used. They're new. When I was buying a couple different ones, I didn't know which one I was going to like, but they're in there. I got 8 spare spools of MIG wire right in here. There's these 3 plus this one, and then that, and then I also got these wire cutters. These are mainly I use those cutters for the TIG rod, so when I can cut it in half. Here's the glove layout, and then underneath that's all the grounding clamps and the rest of the grounding cable. Then on this side, I have the welding pliers, the normal ones that you use all the time, and then I've got all the different vise grips. I think there's like 14 pair in there. I've got the ones for the tube, the big clamp, the open clamp. Makes it fairly easy to get them out. Got them a little bit organized with a divider. That way I don't have to completely empty the cart to get them out. One of the things that I was trying to do with this design is, well, it's a few rules I follow with most everything that I have. If you're going to keep something, you have to know you have it, and you have to know where you put it, or at least a generalized area of where you put it. So there's no, in my opinion, there's no reason to keep something if you don't know you have it, and or you don't know where you put it. So tearing the house apart to find something doesn't work. Tearing apart the garage to find something doesn't work. So I try to make everything around the philosophy of, if I'm going to get to it fairly often, that I make it fairly easy to get to, and at least a generalized location of where I can find it. Now let me go ahead and close up the top, and then I'll show you guys inside the drawer. Now, drawer is one of the few things that I purchased as a pre-manufactured. Got it off of Amazon. It's just bolted on the underside. The other thing that I bought pre-manufactured, I got these casters. They all for lock. I think they're rated about 150 pounds or 250 pounds per caster. Needs to be, because I have a feeling the cart is probably in the 300-pound range. I'm just guessing. It's pretty heavy. Inside the drawer, I've got a lifetime supply, probably close to that, of consumables, at least for the tips, nozzles, and a few other odds and ends. I've got two bins down here in the bottom that I bought all the different sizes that the welder supports. I hate being in the middle of a job and trashing a tip, and then I can't do anything until I go get a tip, or running out of wire or anything, you know, trashing a nozzle. So I just said to hell with it. Bought a couple of everything and just leave it in there. Got the owner's manuals, operator's manuals as reminders when I go to use a different configuration. Lets me figure out what the hell I'm doing. I got the all the tungsten rod stuff at the top here. At the rate I go through those, those might only last me like a day. Not really, but sometimes it feels that way. I've also got work gloves. Got my TIG only gloves, and then I got a set that I use for MIG every once in a while. I love these gloves, the way they feel. Sometimes they're a little bit too light though for MIG welding. Got the Miller adapter cable that allows me to take it down to a household current. Got 2 additional spools of aluminum wire down here. Of course, they wouldn't fit in the top because I've already got the 8 in the top. Another one of the plates, and then a couple gauges for sizing gauges. Got the headband, the welding helmet headband, and lens replacement stuff in here as well. But that's pretty much it in the drawer. Works out pretty good for the most part, can't complain. On the top, the nice thing with using the lid, besides having the magnetic gun holder there for the TIG or the MIG, is when I take welding helmet off, or take my gloves off, or any odds and ends that I just, you know, the pliers, they just go right on top. It works pretty nice. The one thing that I did have to do after I built the top, because I added this piece back here is after the fact. I just wanted to extend the top a little bit longer, is because of the weight of this cart. I said I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it's pushing 400 pounds. That might be overestimating, but damn, it feels like it is. I realized that with the weight of the cart, when I'm going and rolling it around, pushing on this wood, just has the simple hinges in the back. There's a good chance that those little wood screws aren't going to hold, and eventually it's just going to tear them out, or it's going to get loose. So I put some angle iron at the last on each corner, and what that allows me to do is when I'm pushing the cart around, if I push the wood from the side, it just hits these braces, and that just stops me from trashing the top. Seems to work pretty good. Overall, I've been using it now, I want to say a couple years. I've been through about 2 bottles of the sea gas, and I think I'm on the third or fourth bottle of the argon. I've been doing quite a bit of aluminum welding. Never had the ability to do it before, so when I bought this welder, it gave me the chance to finally mess around with aluminum. And most of the mods I've been doing on the quad and the side-by-side are aluminum. So anyway, maybe someone out there will find some use for some of the design elements on this. If you guys got any questions, or if you need some more detailed video of certain aspects, drop me a comment and I'll reply to what I can. Have a good one, guys. Bye.